Hello guys, and welcome back to another tutorial. In today's video we are going to show you how to set up a basic Plex server using your desktop. I was introduced to Plex a few months back when I was looking for a way to store all the DVDs, movies, TV shows, music that I had on a centralized server so that I could access that across my devices. This came up in large part because of my internet service provider. We have Comcast, who has a data cap in our area, and every month, with about 4 or 5 days left in the month, they would send us an email saying we'd reached our data limit and that if we streamed anything else that we would be penalized for overage fees. And I thought that was pretty stupid. And looking at our data, a lot of what we were using was streaming from Netflix or Hulu. And a lot of those shows we already had on DVD. It was just more convenient to stream them. And so in my research, a Plex server seemed like a great way to go to stream the media that I already had rather than having to use an internet connection to get it. So for those of you who are maybe not so technically inclined, here's a little diagram that kind of shows what we're going to be doing today. We're going to take our desktop computer and turn it into a server where we're going to store movies and music and other things, and then we can use our other devices, our phones, our Chromecast or Apple TV, other computers in our house, and these devices will be able to stream that media, but instead of having to go out over the internet, it will just talk to the computer that's on our local network. Something to note, you can also stream using an internet connection. So for example, if this computer is at my house, but I'm on my phone and I'm at a hotel or out at a store, I can still connect to this server using the internet and stream my content that way. So it's really not too hard to get started, and we're going to try and make this as simple as possible. So let's go ahead and get to it. First thing we're going to do is open up a web browser and go to plex.tv. And here you can see some of the features of Plex. Your media, online content. It also integrates with a lot of other channels like Tidal. If you have those subscriptions, they will integrate with the Plex server that you build. You can also stream live TV and use your server as a DVR. All of these are a little bit more complicated, and we'll cover those in future videos. But today we're going to keep it really simple. Down below you can see a list of devices that are compatible with your Plex server. You can stream over an Apple TV, over an Android, works with Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Roku, Windows, your PlayStation or Xbox, computers that you may have with graphics cards. The list goes on and on. Plex really does work on a lot of devices. So let's go ahead and get started getting our server put together. We're going to go ahead and scroll down to Get Plex, and then we will click Get the Plex app on our device. In the downloads page here, you can see there are downloads for media servers as well as apps and devices. We're going to want to make sure that we are on the media server. And then down here in the drop down you can see a lot of different devices can work as the server where we're going to store the movies. You can do it on a Windows, on a Mac, and you can also do it on a whole bunch of different devices, including network storage. So if you've got a special box that's a network access storage, that can also work as a Plex server. Keeping this very simple, and because we're using a Windows desktop to do this, we're going to go ahead and select Windows, make sure that we're on the server side, and click download. And then it will take just a few minutes here for this file to download. One thing that I like about the Plex is that it is free. They do have a paid option that will get you some of those other features we were talking about. But to do the very basics, storing our movies and TV shows, we can do that without having to pay for it. So now that that file's downloaded, let's go ahead and open it. And it's going to bring up this window here, asking us to install the Plex Media Server. If you'd like, you can go into the options and select where you'd like it to save. I'm honestly okay with it being just in the program files under Plex Media Server. So we're going to go ahead and click OK and install. If this window comes up, go ahead and click yes to allow it to install on your computer. And this process can take just a minute or two. It doesn't typically take very long. And voila. Just like that, our Plex Media Server is installed. So we can go ahead and click Launch. And when we do that, typically it's going to open a new tab here in our web browser. Just like this. Alright, so after we've logged in to the Plex application, this will be the first page that it brings you to. And it's going to ask you to log into your Plex account. There's a few different ways that you can log in. You can link it to your Google, your Facebook, or continue with an email account. I'm going to let you decide which way you like to do this. If you'd like to do it with an email, then you can go ahead and click that and then click sign up with email, and it's going to ask you to enter your email address, create a password, and then it will probably ask you to go to that email address, click the verification email, yada yada yada, to create your account. To do this, I'm just going to go ahead and log in and show you what the next screen is going to look like. Alright, so once you've clicked login, it's going to tell you a little bit about how Plex works, kind of like what we told you. Plex is a media server that you store your media. It's going to scan the files automatically and put it in this clean user interface, and then you can use that to stream on any device that has the Plex app installed. So it's going to ask us to set up our server. We're going to go ahead and give it a friendly name. We're going to call this one Demo Server. You can call yours whatever you will remember. If you want to name it the name of your computer or desktop server or whatever, you can put that name in there. Now this tick box here is going to ask if you'd like to be able to access your media outside your home. If you want to be able to watch your videos on the go or share your Plex server with family and friends, then you're going to want to have this on. If you only want to access it on your local network inside your house, you can go ahead and turn it off. For our purposes, we're going to go ahead and leave it on. Click Next. And here it's asking us to organize our media. One of the things that Plex is going to do is it scans the files that are on our computer and tries to create libraries. So in the basic file setup that Windows has, it has found a music folder and a photos folder, and has added those to our library already. If we want to add a library, we can add movies, TV shows, etc., and then create files for those on our server. But we're not going to do that for right now. We'll go ahead and click Next. And then finally it's going to ask us to get Plex apps on the other devices that we'd like to stream, whether that's our iPhone, iPad, computer, Roku, whatever. We're not going to do that right now either, but we're going to go ahead and click Done. Alright, and now you can see that we have just finished setting up this demo server. This is the dashboard that it's going to bring us to, and I really like it. It seems very clean and easy to manage. It's got a very nice user interface, which is what I like as kind of a novice computer guy. You can see currently that we don't really have a lot of media in here. That's because we haven't added any movies, music, TV shows to our server, or if they are already on our computer, we haven't told Plex where to find them. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the things that we have here. Here at the top, there's a list of available servers. You can see the demo server that we just created, and then on my Plex account, I have another server that I use for everyday use. So that's one thing. You can have multiple Plex servers linked to your account. If you want to have one at your home and one at your office or at your friend's house, if you want to share media, if you have a vacation home, you can go ahead and put it out there. But you can have multiple. So let's go ahead and stay in our demo server. And you can see here in our libraries, we have a library for music. You may have one for photos. I went ahead and just deleted that right off the bat because I had no use for it. But let's go ahead and create some basic folders for this Plex server so that we can add some movies. So to do that, let's go down to the search bar and type in File Explorer. Let's go here. And then on our PC, in our C drive, let's go ahead and create a folder called Media. I've already done that. If you're going to do it, go ahead and right click, select New, select Folder, click that, and then you can name it Media. Inside Media, you can break it down into movies, music, TV shows, etc. And we're going to have another video of probably the best practices setting up your files. But for now, let's keep it very simple. And let's go here to Movies. And you can see that in that folder, I've already added a DVD that I had. And in the description of this video, there will be a link to the next video of how to copy your DVDs to your Plex server. So in movies, you can go ahead and stack them in here. If you want, you can add subfolders, kind of that same way. New folder, and you can do it by genre. I mean, if you wanted to do horror or romance or whatever, and break your movies out into that, you can. I just put them all in one big movies folder. While you're here, in the media folder, you may want to add one for music and TV shows, whatever you want to add to your server. Once you've done that in your File Explorer, let's go ahead and minimize that. And here in Plex, under Libraries, let's go ahead and click the plus sign. Let's add a library type for movies. We want it in English. We'll leave it named Movies. Go ahead and click Next. And now it's going to ask, where is this folder? Where is the media that we should add to Plex? So in ours, we're going to go to the C drive, scroll down to the folder we just created for media, and we will select Movies and Add. And then we're going to go ahead and click Add Library. And you can see now that it is syncing Plex with the movies that we had stored in that folder. And just like that, ELF is now part of our Plex server. If we click play, it's going to open it in our media, and we can watch it directly on this desktop, or we can do it on any of the other devices where we're going to install the Plex app. So this is the first part on how to set up your desktop server, how to add some basic media. We're going to have a lot more videos on Plex specifically. So go ahead and subscribe if you want to look through our playlist. We're going to have a lot more videos that will answer some questions. If you guys have specific questions, please feel free to ask them, and we will use that to kind of guide what videos we make next. appreciate you guys watching. Have a wonderful day, and hit us up with any questions you may have.